At the talisman in his hand, which is no longer a tenant, this guy realizes that luck is still not on his side, because the talisman he needed managed to break at such a moment. While this guy, looking at the talisman, was thinking that someone must have done something with his teleportation talisman, we watched a hand that was trying to reach him. Next, we watch as this suddenly appearing hand grabs this fugitive by the clothes in order not to leave him a single chance to continue his escape. The one who caught this bastard turns out to be his own mentor. After she grabbed him, she throws him to the ground with all her strength, causing damage. Delivering her sword, this waifu tells her student, who has become a mediocrity in the eyes of everyone, that he has indeed inherited the demonic power of Shueisha Laozu. In addition, this bastard still dared to foil an assassination attempt on His Highness while he was meditating, which means it's time to get rid of the garbage. This girl continues to look at her own servant and student like trash, saying that she simply cannot allow him to do something like that. Suddenly a hand appears from behind. This is the hand of our main hero, who decided to see the fugitive in person. Coming forward, he says, since this scoundrel wanted to kill him so badly, then he must end it. Immediately after, His Highness personally comes to the fugitive and reports that he will personally deal with him. He tells everyone else that they can all go back. In response to the accusation of using demonic techniques, this guy asks what kind of Shueisha Laozu is this, because he doesn't even know such a word. He shouts that this is a misunderstanding. This guy's mentor tells the student that yesterday he used demonic power against Shu Xian, and today he used Shueisha Lao's blood teleportation to escape. At this moment, after this guy hears something about the teleportation of blood, he watches as his mentor begins to slowly leave, as the prince said. After this guy's mistress is almost leaving, this guy finally understands that his mentor was talking about a teleportation talisman that he found by chance on the ground. Next, Suyu shouts to Liu Wuxian that it was he who gave him the demonic teleportation talisman to deceive him. He continues to blame our geo-protagonist for everything. Our main hero slowly approaches this guy, who is on his knees, and asks him if he himself is responsible for everything, because he was the first to try to kill him in his sleep. Looking down at this guy, our main hero continued to say that it was his own fault that he found himself in the position he is in right now. After Liu Wuxian finishes explaining to this guy in the language of facts what happened, he tells him to immediately give him the divine guide to Acheron. As soon as this guy heard the name of this divine leadership, his face immediately changed to one of surprise. He screamed and asked Wuxian how he managed to find out this and who he was. In response to this, some kind of tech appears behind our main hero, and he answers this guy's questions by saying that the dead man doesn't need to know all these details. A couple more moments pass and we watch the growth of something powerful behind our main character. Apparently he is preparing to take the guy's life. As soon as our main character used his unusual technology, the same divine guidance on Acre that Prince Liu Wuxian needed flew out of this guy. After this scroll, which contained divine guidance, flew away from the guy and landed straight in the guy's hands, now it's time to deal with Su Yu. This guy, being on his knees in front of our main character, shouted that this leadership belongs only to him. This guy had a chance to become an emperor, but now he is an insignificant dying midge. Judging by the movements of our main character's hands, the screen time of the guy in front of our main hero is coming to an end, because he calls on his destruction technique. As soon as our main character made a slight movement with his hand, a powerful magical projectile began to fall from the sky, which was rapidly losing its height. The power of this magical projectile from our main egro was so incredible that we saw only the after effects of this attack. There was no hint that anyone was standing here. A system notification notifies the guy that the child of fate, Su Yu, has died, and all the rewards have been received by the owner. He has received divine guidance on Acheron, Ba Shan Jin, and something else. The villain system did not deprive our main hero of villain points, because for his murder he received as much as 50,000 villain points. He can cultivate at the cost of 20,000. Having laid out in front of him the divine guidance that he received as a reward for the murder, Wuxian realized that this had helped the deceased all the time, and he was waiting for this for cultivation. Next, we watched as the divine guidance on Acheron, which our main hero received, began to unwind and swirl around our main hero, saturating him with power. The system notified our main Egriao that the progress of pumping the divine Acheron was at 5%, and he had learned the skill Touch of Acheron. This skill is capable of destroying a soul with just one touch. After Wuxian felt this power, he wondered if this was the way to become a great emperor. Then the course of events is abruptly interrupted, and we continue after our main character finds himself inside the divine guide to Acheron, riding on a cart that rides like a Bugatti. Being in this strange inner dimension, our main hero begins to feel the very path to becoming a great emperor. He is right here ahead of him. Next, we watch as our protagonist's turbo cart comes to an abrupt stop, after which he prepares to take a serious step towards becoming a great emperor. We watch as our main character literally takes a step towards his destiny. The road ahead of him is clearing right in front of him. At this significant moment, the course of events ends abruptly, and we continue when we leave Vukan's consciousness and find ourselves in the immortal Tanyu sect. There is a strong storm outside. Then we continue when we are transported inside this sect. We observe how everyone who is inside begins to feel sick. They all feel pressure. They think this is an attack from the Great Cultivator. We continue to watch as the students of this cicada fall one after another, and everyone becomes ill. One of them wonders if it could be that this is all due to cultivating someone. Next, we observe the head of this immortal sect. He also becomes a victim of this cultivation, and a huge amount of his chi energy also begins to leave him. This chapter is different from ordinary students. He immediately finds out where the source is and goes there. But there is a shadow servant of our main character who reports that the prince is cultivating and entry is prohibited. Immediately after this bald man hears that entry is prohibited, he does not argue because he knows what this shadow servant is capable of. He is shocked by the effect of the prince's cultivation. Everyone is completely shocked by the process of cultivating our main character because he sees a huge number of thunderclouds at the temple. The shadow servant understands that the prince is becoming stronger and stronger, and the head of the immortal sect completely understands that the guy was able to acquire a skill similar to miraculous power. He understands that the child of their emperor is simply incredibly strong and amazing. At this point, the course of events is interrupted again, and we continue when we are again transported inside the Divine Guide to Acheron, in which our main hero continues his cultivation. After a spark of fire falls on the shoulder of our main character, he realizes that he is capable of easily destroying his purple rank item, and this is simply incredible power. Meanwhile, our main character continues on his path to becoming a great emperor. A voice from afar calls him a pathetic hillbilly, who is not worthy of inheriting his power. Before us is Acheron himself, who apparently created this divine leadership. He warns the prince that if he takes another step forward, he will undoubtedly only die. But our main hero is not at all embarrassed by the warning that, if he is violated, they threaten to kill him. Instead, he simply looks into Acheron's face in order to tell him something. Having turned on the diplomat mode, our main hero informs Acheron that he has been dead for 3,000 years, and he can actually think that he can still do something to someone. After Emperor Acheron hears such rudeness from our main guy, he points his finger at him, asking him how he dares, being a non-entity, talk to him like that. Despite the fact that our main hero is the size of an ant compared to the finger of this giant emperor, he continues to stand on this bridge as if nothing had happened. Further, our main hero still decides that it's time to start at least some action. Turning once again to Emperor Acheron, he informs him that, unfortunately, times have changed. Immediately after our main character says this, he again uses the true form of the Elder Dragon's holy body in order to win another victory for him. After a huge Elder Dragon appeared behind our main hero again, he continued to advance towards Emperor Acheron as if nothing had happened despite the flames around him. The Emperor is very surprised after he sees what technique Liu Wuchen uses. Realizing that he was able to gain the power of Darkon, he immediately understands why the guy behaves this way. But then Emperor Acheron informs our main character that his true strength as an Elder Dragon means nothing to him, because he still remains just an ordinary clown for him. We continue to watch as the huge hand of Emperor Aharoan continues to move towards our main character. He realizes that for the rest of his soul, this Emperor is very strong. Despite the fact that the huge hand of this Emperor Acheron continued to move towards our main hero, he answered him that he still would not be able to defeat him so easily. After Emperor Acheron encountered resistance from our main character, he asked the guy if he was a god of demons. Because this is impossible. The demon gods had to fall in a past era. Next, we watch as our main hero uses the skill of Acheron's finger, which he learned recently. He tells the Emperor that it is high time for him to retire so he will finish with him. As soon as our main character pointed his middle finger and used Acheron's technique, a powerful ray was directed at this emperor, or rather his remnant soul, erasing him from consciousness. As we watched this Emperor of Acheron gradually disappear, we heard him asking our main character, how dare he use his own technique against him. Another couple of moments and we watch as nothing remains of this remnant of his soul. He simply cannot believe it, because he is the Emperor, and this brat should not have defeated him. Meanwhile, we are watching how, after Vukan ate this Emperor, his soul dissipated and rushed straight into the chest of our main hero, and he absorbed it. After our main character defeated the remnants of the soul of Emperor Acheron, he again reminded this Emperor that the vermin had changed a lot, and he was wrong in underestimating him. Immediately after our main hero defeats the one who owns this place, we watch as the fire that was around goes out and flowers grow in its place. Looking at everything around, Vukan realizes that the power of this Emperor is simply incredible, and now it's all around, and his power belongs only to him, and it's just wonderful. But our main character understands that despite all the smileys that he received, he still does not know how to control all the powers that he acquired, so he needs to do this. At this point, the course of events accelerates greatly because no one wants to watch our main character just sit in place all day, so we speed up a whole day later. After a whole day has passed, we watch as our main hero slowly opens his eyes, and looking at the flower, he understands what the path of Acheron really is. Life and death in one thought. Our main hero understands that the Aheroan path is definitely helping him, but he still needs to cultivate further in order to become even stronger every time. After our main character finished cultivating, he looked up at the sky, realizing that he certainly shouldn't forget about earning his villain points for his villain system. Looking at the sky in this strange space to which he has already become accustomed, Liu Wuchen wonders what the child of fate Lin Feng is doing now. Next, we watch as our main hero is immediately informed that people were able to find traces of Lin Feng outside the city of Lei Yuan, in some dangerous desert. Having arrived in this desert, we watch as a group of people find themselves in serious danger because they are faced with a huge monster who is not very friendly. One of these people, armed with a shovel, approaches this monster and informs his brothers that they just need to hold on because Brother Lin will soon arrive and save them all. A couple of moments after this, we watch as this mechanical monster opens its mouth and explosive talismans with a clear ability immediately fly out from the side. Immediately after these explosive talismans come into contact with this huge monster, we watch a huge explosion that causes colossal damage to this monster. One more moment and we become witnesses to the heroic appearance of the same Lin Feng that our main character was recently interested in. He asks people not to worry. Immediately after this child of fate came and dealt with the huge monster, thereby saving the lives of people, this squad began to praise their brother Lin because he is incredibly strong. One of them immediately threw himself at the feet of his rescuer, because if he had arrived even 1 minute later, he would have already been talking to the corpses and not to them. After Lin Feng saw how desperate his people were, he immediately stroked the most timid one and calmed him down. After Lin Feng saw how desperate his people were, he immediately stroked the most timid one and calmed him down, telling him that everything was in order now and he could calm down. But this guy saved these guys for a reason. He realized that they would all definitely remember his act, because he appeared at the most desperate moment for this squad. Looking to the side, Lin Feng informed the rest of the squad that all the mechanical beasts had been destroyed, and everyone should hurry up and collect precious items from the monsters. Next, this man with a scar told Brother Lin that today he would return home, because he needed to visit his family and he had to teach Prince Liu Wuchen a lesson for his brother. Lin Feng then approached this man and put his hand on his shoulder, and said that they swore an oath in the Sigma Brotherhood because of their similar views on life. Now they are brothers. While this guy listened attentively, Lin Feng continued to say that the prince of the immortal Shanhai dynasty could not cause him any trouble because he was far ahead of him. This child of fate was so confident in his abilities because he had already mastered 2 talismans and had made good progress in his leveling, and he would definitely be able to kill the bastard prince. But after the frame shifted to the neck of this self-confident guy, we saw that all this time there was a poisonous silk moth in the neck of this guy, which is life-threatening. A few moments pass and we continue to follow the course of events when we find ourselves in the Lei family mansion. This man informs his family that the head of the family has finally returned. After this man enters the mansion, he hears a servant praising some handsome man and he just attracts him. He makes him more embarrassed. Next we watch as this fat servant approaches a man who has recently arrived and tells Tianeru that it wouldn't hurt for him to come up and greet the prince. As soon as this man with an open torso heard that he was being offered to greet the prince, he was in complete shock and asked which prince we were talking about. Was it really about Liu Wuchen? In response to this fat servant jumps up and then slaps this man in the face, calling him an idiot, because he has no right to just call the name of his highness. At this moment, our main hero, who as usual sits on the throne behind, decides to intervene in the conversation by saying that the son of Mr. Lei is a very straightforward person. After our main Geoi disappears from his throne, he approaches the recently arrived man and tells them not to forget about the task that he gave them. The servant swears to Liu Wuchen and asks him not to worry, because the Lei family will make every effort to carry out the order of the prince and catch the fugitive Lin Feng. At this moment, this plump servant understands that if they manage to help His Highness, then in essence they will help the immortal Shanhai dynasty itself, which will be very helpful in the future. At this time, the muscular man who recently entered continues to be in complete shock. He asks the servant how he can say such things, because Lin Feng is his brother. After this not very smart man blurts out that he is in a narrow relationship with Lin Fen, our main character immediately approaches him, surprised that he knows him. Next, this man immediately raises his voice to our main hero, telling him that he will not tell him anything about his dear brother Lin Feng. But right after this man had to start being cocky again, this chubby man suddenly jumped up to put this man back in his place. Kneeling down, this man said that Brother Lin is a very righteous person who deserves to have followers and he would rather die than betray him. Mysteriously approaching the window, our main hero says that there is no need to force this man to tell everything, because in the end he can entrust the task to other people. Immediately after this slightly plump short man hears that our main character is about to entrust the task to others, he falls to the ground, realizing that it is all over. This guy immediately rushes to his father to ask what happened to him, because in front of him is just a prince and they are an ancient family who should not be afraid of him. But as soon as this man, who had recently said that our main hero does not pose a danger to go out on the street, he sees a huge yellow hand that rises in the sky. After the frame drops a little lower, we observe the ordinary people of this place who are greatly panicked after they see this spectacle. Meanwhile, this chubby man who is still lying on the floor hears from his son that they should not be afraid. He explains to him that in front of their dynasty they are just ants. Next we watch as a huge golden hand, summoned by our main griot, falls down. The force of this blow is most likely enough to crush everyone. At this moment, not a single nerve wavered on our protagonist's face. He said that the news about the destruction of the Lei family will come out very quickly, so Lin Fei will watch it. Moving to the same Lin Feng, because of whom our main hero destroyed the village, we hear how he calmly rests while hunting with his people. At this point, he is so kind to his people that he tells the guy who is carrying the loot to rest for a while he replaces him. Next, we watch as someone watched the entire group of people from the shadows. The grandfather said that Lin Fei showed disrespect for the prince, because of which the Lei family was destroyed. A second later, we see how this grandfather apparently hits one guy in the head and tells Lin Fen that he will spare him that time. But if he dares to contact Wang He again, he will regret it. Immediately after this child of fate hears this, genuine shock immediately appears on his face. He immediately understands with the help of his 69 IQ that this is Liu Wuchen's doing again. This guy's followers immediately begin to discuss that the Lei family was destroyed in just one day, and Brother Lin and Liu Wuchen are rivals, so it is dangerous for them to follow him. After Lin Feng himself hears all this, he calls everyone idiots because they all tried to suck up to him, and now they are stabbing him in the back, for which they will receive death. At this moment, our protagonist's kawaii system notifies him via notification that he betrayed Lin Feng, and he lost 100 fate points while Wuchen received 2,000. Having looked at the notice, our main hero said that only time will tell the man's devotion. It seems that he had too high hopes for this guy, which he did not live up to. Next, we watch as the same mentor suddenly approaches our main character, the servant whom our main hero deceived and killed. She calls His Highness. Seeing this girl, our main hero immediately approaches her and asks if the complete destruction of the Lei family scared her. He clearly expects to hear an answer. This girl answers our main character that she is sure that His Highness had reasons for this, compared to the Lei family. It seems to her that he treats her family well. Next, our main hero tells this girl that he is going to leave the Tianyu sect and leave here. Our main hero asks this girl if she wants to follow him. In response to this, she is very embarrassed and reminds our main character that she is just a simple cultivator. She asks Wuchen if she is worthy of such. Our main hero approaches this girl and strokes her cheek, telling her not to humiliate herself. The girl replies that if His Highness wishes this, then she is ready to follow him forever. After our main character hears from this girl that she is going to follow him forever, he hands her a jade talisman and asks her to accept it as a gift. In response to this, the girl immediately bows to our main character, telling him that words of gratitude are the path of sword mastery, that is, the heavenly method of cultivation. A system notification notifies our main character that Su Qinghan's loyalty has increased by 100%. The reward has been doubled, and he has received 8,000 villain points. The system also reminded our main character that if the loyalty of servants and students increases, he will receive secret rewards and boxes. He immediately concludes that he needs more servants. The course of events is interrupted, and we continue when we are transported to the border of 1,000 kingdoms. Some girl on a bird calls Liu Wuchen an insignificant prince who dared to destroy one of the Holy Lands. But this ancient sect was followed by an ancient family. An ancient sect responsible for the order in this place, and being under the command of several emperors at once. Before us is the founding disciple of Zhangzhi Mountain named Luo Mengqing. She is born of a deity, and is Lin Feng's half-sister. She knows that the guy's father, the emperor, supports him, but they don't care. Immediately after this, rumors begin that Mount Zhangzhi is coming to teach a lesson to our main character. But the people from this mountain are the descendants of an immortal and ancient deity. Each of the disciples from this mountain sect is incredibly talented. This crowd of people understands that it looks like they are in for just a great show, and Liu Wuchen is 100% doomed to death. Then we are again moved to a new place. This time to the Tian Yu sect. This girl continues talking about our main character, that he dared to destroy one of the Holy Lands. She continues talking about our main character, that he dared to destroy one of the Holy Lands. She continues talking about our main character, and how he decided to commit more crimes, and now he must follow her to atone for his sins. After the second servant of our main character hears such harsh demands of this girl, she asks her how she dares to communicate so rudely with the prince. In response to such a completely logical remark from the second servant of our protagonist, this little one replies that Mount Zhangzhi is the representative of the law of heaven, responsible for order. Next, this girl makes an incredibly powerful attack with the help of her magic pole, in the side of the guy, saying that some prince for them is just an empty place of no importance. Immediately after this girl uses her probably not the strongest attack, the second servant of our main hero immediately falls to the floor, realizing that she is fighting with too strong. Next, we watch as the second servant of our main hero begins to fly away to the side, but suddenly our main hero appears, who stops her flight. After our main hero, who managed to appear as heroically as possible, saves his maid from a collision, he asks this little one if this is all she is capable of. Looking at our main character and hiding from his aura, this girl will understand that apparently this is the same prince in front of her. He also understands that a terrifying power comes from him. Immediately after this girl appears, the system of our Gavango Jeriao notifies him that in front of him is Luo Mengqing, who is the main disciple of the head of the mountain sect with an ancient pedigree. After our main hero reads that she is Lin Feng's half-sister, he realizes that she is clearly the last person that Lin Feng can truly rely on. Immediately after our main hero sees in front of him someone who has something to do with Lin Feng, he realizes that he simply needs to find a way for her to be disappointed in him. Next, our main hero informs this student of the mountain that this territory belongs to the immortal Shanhai dynasty. He asks this girl who she is to tell him what to do here. Another moment later, our main hero summons his huge golden hand to direct it at this girl with pink hair. He orders her to immediately come down. Next, we watch as the huge golden hand of our main hero, which easily destroyed the village, easily grabs this very confident girl, and then she lets her down. Immediately after this girl finds herself in the golden hand of our protagonist, he decides that today she did not deserve a soft landing, so he roughly throws her to the ground. Even once on Earth, this girl continues to accuse our main character of having recently killed innocent people, so he is definitely guilty and should atone for his sins. In response to such an accusation, our main hero replies that 800 years ago, the head of the Dragon Stream sect lost his mind, and Mount Jingji sent people to kill him. Our main character continued the story by saying that 30,000 students died during an attempt to kill this madman. He asked the girl if they were guilty of the deaths of 30,000. Immediately after our main hero says that, the confidence on this girl's face immediately changes to bewilderment. She is trying to defend herself, and says that this simply cannot happen. Meanwhile, Prince Liu Wuchen, folding his hands in front of him, continues to say that 700 years ago, the two largest sects quarreled, after which Mount Jingji tried to stop them. Liu Wuchen continues saying that as a result of this, millions of mortals died and suffered. He again asks the girl who just recently accused him if they are all to blame. The guy continues to speak in the language of facts that the number of deaths caused by Mount Zhangzhi cannot be calculated by anyone. Now he asks to say whether he still killed innocent people or not. After our main hero exposes so many facts in front of this girl, she was previously confident in her words. She is afraid to answer anything and thinks whether it's all true or not. Next, our main hero asks this girl with pink hair to remind him once again for what purpose Mount Jingji is located in the territories of his father. The girl tries to answer. After Liu Wuchen hears only silence in the answer to his questions, he asks the girl if she swallowed her tongue, because all she did was just blow his mind. Next, this girl admits that perhaps she got carried away, but her half-brother Lin Feng, as she knows, is a righteous person. She asks the guy why he wants him dead. This time, instead of our main hero, his first maid answers. She says that Lin Feng repeatedly provoked and tried to kill His Highness, so this is revenge. After this pink-haired girl hears that her stepbrother tried to kill His Highness, she just can't believe it because it sounds like crazy. Moreover, when she heard these words from the Tianshui celestial Mo Yao Chen, she understood that brother Lin Feng was very close to her. But for some reason, she is now with Liu Wuchen. The first mate of our hero continued to say that the prince was kind, and wanted Lin Feng to simply be imprisoned. But he escaped and slandered his calculations and did it everywhere. Listening to such words about her stepbrother, this girl could hardly believe what she heard. She continued to say that all this was nonsense and not true, because her brother was not the same. Liu Wuchen added that Lin Feng's megalomania is becoming very dangerous. It can lead to deviation of his qi. If the main disciple does not believe him, she can go and find out the whole truth herself. After this girl with pink hair heard these facts about her half-brother, she walked away saying that she would definitely get to the bottom of the truth without letting Liu Wuchen off the hook. But our main hero was filled with calm, despite the fact that this girl who wanted to arrange a trial for him had not yet completely left him behind. Nevertheless, our main hero was able to achieve what he wanted, because his system informed him that Luo Mengqing began to favor his half-brother. So Lin Feng lost 50 points. Looking after this girl who continued to leave, our main hero realized that he had only achieved the lost 50 points of this guy, which means he needs to be set up. Next, our main character remembered that Dao Shu will soon open, so it's time to show off his poisonous silk moth, which he had already sent to this guy. At this moment, the course of events is abruptly interrupted and we continue, accelerating 3 days ahead in a location under the name of the Mountain of Fusion of Elements. We are observing that very fusion. Moving closer to this flying huge ball, we hear conversations inside it about how this is 1,000 kingdoms and not someone's mountain Zongjar. So some people may not even think about the search. Everyone starts screaming and blaming the girl we already know for coming to get the treasure, but she replies that she doesn't care about this domain and doesn't care at all. Further moving deeper into the crowd, we see the very Fen that this girl is looking for. Standing deep in the crowd in a dark robe, he understands that she is looking for him, and with her help, he has a chance to take revenge. Next, we watch as this guy begins to charge his magical attack, saying that in front of him is a bunch of bastards if they communicate with his stepsister like that. But suddenly the guy remembers that the domain has not yet been opened, that if he starts doing something now, he greatly risks exposing himself, so he should wait a little. Next, this girl turns to the side and tells this crowd that she is looking for someone here, and she doesn't need their treasures. Then we hear some voice asking us to address the guest more respectfully. Our main hero comes onto the stage and says that there is always a chance to meet, but he did not expect to see Luo's main student so quickly. He told her that she can enter the domain whenever she wants.